doubts, please let me know in the chat box. Lambda is also used for functions only. So in functions, we can use lambda. Lambda is actually it's a type of function. Okay. So it is not there in the older versions. It's there in only the latest versions. It's there in 3.8 onwards. Cursor is just cursor is only the variable. So you can use connection also. Just for storing information, I used cursor. Cursor is nothing actually. So if you want to use, you can use cursor or you can use some directly connection also. Okay. Any more doubts? If you have any doubts. So now in this class, we'll see one more project, that is calculator project. So how can we design a calculator in Python and how can we implement it? So I hope all of you understood. I explained the common steps for doing any project in the last class. So if you gone through it, then it is very simple actually. So if you have any doubts, that's the reason why I'm asking any doubts with respect to that project. How can we do it? What is database? How can we extend the functionality? How can we write some logic? Okay, so that is what we need to see here. So you don't have any doubts, I hope. So if you don't have any doubts, then we'll go with the other project. Okay, so this is actually the project what we are going to see in today's class. This is a calculator project. Simply, how can we design a calculator in Python? Okay, so what is a calculator? Calculator is, for example, so this is a calculator, right? This is there in all the computers, right? So this is a calculator app. By default, it is available in all the computers. So for example, I can perform all the operations here. So I want to implement the same thing in Python. So I want to implement the same type of calculator in Python. So of course, I am not using all these functions, but basically I need to design a calculator in Python. So that is what we are doing here. Just I'm importing all the packages. Okay. So CALC is actually, it is a file. It is a file. It is written in another program. Okay. We know how to import one module. When we discussed about modules concept, I explained about what is meant by module. Module is simply a Python file where you can write some functions, and we try to import that functions in another file. If I want to import some function which is written in another file, first you need to import it, right? For example, I have a module M1 and module M2. So if I want to use some function in M1 in another module M2, first I need to import that module M1. So that is what here we are doing. CALC is simply a file. Okay, so here I'm defining various functions. This will do plus addition. Okay, and this will do multiplication, minus, subtraction, multiplication. Okay, and it will do division, and it will do result. Result means equals to. When you click on equals to, we are getting, and add to number. So we are defined all the functions, and this is a C. C means clear function, right? So now, so first thing is what we need to have. So we need to have a design. So design is nothing but, for example, how can we design this? Let me design this thing in Paint so that you will get an idea. So for example, a calculator look like something like this, where we are having some. So these all are actually buttons only. I'll have some numbers here. So some 3 rows, in 3 rows. I'll have some numbers 1, 2, 3. So you can design in your own way. I am okay. Whatever the design I am designing, it is as per my idea. So maybe you may have your own idea. You can design in your own way. It is need not be like how I am designing. You are going to follow the same format. Means it's not, no. Okay, it is not like that. So the design can be done in different ways. So in the same way, you are going to design your own calculator. So just firstly, whenever you are doing any application, you need to write that requirement on a paper, or at least you can design in a, okay, in an image form in MS Paint or some other software, so that you will get an idea, right? So I can have something like this is. So these are the common things what we observe on any calculator. So that is what I am using here. It may have more than this also, but as I mentioned, it is not the same thing what you are having and what I'm going to have. Okay, so these are the things what I am having in my application. So just you need to click on this one. So if you click on this one, then you will get one here, and if you click on this two, you will get two here, and if you click on this different buttons, plus, minus, and so on, the operation can be performed, right? So this is the design. So maybe these are also not required. If you want, you can use it. Otherwise, these all are not required right now. Okay, so this is my calculator design, simple calculator design, where each and everything is a button. Actually, all these are buttons only. So there is a button, and okay, for all these all buttons only. And apart from these buttons, we'll have something like this is a text actually, right? So this is a text. So where you will get some output here. When I click on equals to, I'll get output here. Or when I click on one, I'll get one here. This is a text box. The result should be displayed on a text box, and remaining all are buttons. So I hope you understood, right? This design part is clear, right? Is any doubts? Any more doubts in design part? So it is very simple to how we designed our login form, how we designed our registration form. Similar to that, we need to design uh, the requirement. Here we are doing calculator application, so that's why we need to do okay, the design as per the calculator, because we need to get the output in the form of a calculator. So what calculator will consist of? First, we should know what a calculator will consist of, and how many buttons you required, how many text boxes you required, and what is the functionality of each and every button, right? So first thing is you need to write down all your requirements on a paper. So first thing is we need to design. So as I mentioned, we need to design our GUI. Designing GUI. So here application is calculator app. Okay, we need to design our GUI. What this GUI consists of? First, all the numeric numbers. Okay, so all the numbers and operators must be buttons. Okay, so buttons means for one there is a button, for number two there is a button, for number three there is a button. All are buttons only. If you see here in program also, we need to have buttons. Okay, so if you see here, this is the first button, right? So what this button is going to denote is equals to. This is for is equals to button, right? And this is for plus button, and this is for minus button. Like that, I designed all the buttons. Okay, so and this is for multiplication button, star button. Okay, button and the text to be appeared and button is star. So this is for equals to, and this is for plus, and this is for minus, and this is for multiplication star. And similarly, we can design button for slash division operation, right? So these all are the buttons, and after this, I am designing some more buttons. This button is for numbers. So here the number is 1, and next button is for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 0, right? So these all are the buttons, right? So now what we did, we designed all the buttons for step number 1. All the numbers and operators must be button. So numbers are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. For all this, we need to have buttons. Next, operators are symbols. Operators are is equals to, plus, minus, into, slash. Okay, so these all are the buttons we used. So total 15 buttons we used here. So these are 10 buttons for numbers and 5 buttons for symbols. So 5 buttons for symbols. Okay, so that is what we did so far. So I think is it clear so far what we did? We designed all the buttons and as well as the symbols. Next button is for C. So next button is for C. So this is C. C means for clearing. So if you see here, this is a C, right? C means clear. So next button is, and one more button for C. One more button for C. C means clear. So I hope it is clear, right? So far, just we are designing first. First, we are designing the GUI, calculator GUI. Okay. So is it clear so far? Is it clear? Any doubts? Please respond in the chat box. Is it clear or not? Okay, so we are designing, and the design also already we know this design can be done in different ways. Maybe you can work with grid layout approach, or maybe you can work with a coordinate layout approach. Okay, so which one is comfortable for you? You can go with that approach. It is need not be okay. It is need not be one approach. You can go with any type of approach. It may be grid based, or it may be your okay, coordinate based, right? So once this design is done, then we need to focus on. So far, what we did is we just to design. So design is very simple. Okay, but implementing functionality is very important. Implementing functionality means, so this one also design only. If I did something in Paint also, this one also design only. But is it going to work? Is it going to perform any operations? This is also design only. This is also known as calculator only, right? But is it doing anything? Is it do anything if I add something? Okay, if I click on 3, if I click on 2, am I getting any numbers here in my result? I'm not getting, right? That is what the difference between design and implementation. In design, just we are going to design a blueprint. It doesn't do anything actually, right? So that is what we did so far. We designed. Okay, design means only it will give you the look and feel. That's it. It won't do anything more than that. It's going to give us the look and feel. It doesn't do anything more than that, right? Next thing is, once design is done, then what we need to do, we need to implement the functionality, right? So what we need to do, we need to implement the functionality. Next thing is we are using some label here. So label is for for storing the result, we are using some label. So that is result. For storing a result, we need to use some label. So in that actually nothing is there. We can use label or text box, that is up to you. We can use the label or text box. So once okay, so this is what we are doing so far, designing the entire thing here. Okay, now once this is done, then what we need to do, once this is done, what we need to do, we need to write the functionality. Functionality means we need to write the code further. It is going to perform each and every action. Action means if you click on plus, what will happen? Let me run this program first. Okay, so this is the output what we are going to get. So this is a calculator. If you see here, this is a calculator. So here actually nothing is there. There is a label we are using. By default, we won't get anything because we are okay. If you type something, then only we get. For example, if I type 8, okay, so automatically that number will be converted into float format. Okay, that is the logic we written. When I click on any button, if I return 89, okay, I want to multiply 89 into 6. Okay, so what is the result? Is equals to 89 into 6. We got the result, right? So when I click on C, so it is going to clear the result, right? So here we are using two labels. One label is for displaying the result, and one more label is whenever you are performing that click operation, whenever you are clicking on any number, okay, it is going to store that number in that label. Okay, this is a simple calculator. So based on the operation, for example, if I say 5 plus 9 is equals to, so based on the type of the operation what you are doing, it is going to perform, it's going to perform that particular action. So that is what, so this can be done by using action command. Okay, so you can use this. Okay, so here if you see here, for example, plus, what it is doing, plus, okay, plus is nothing but we are getting by default sign 0. Okay, and number value initially 0 I'm taking, and text string of cals dot get number. So get number is a function. This is written inside this CALC. So what is get number? Get number is nothing but simply converting the string into text format. Let me open this. Okay, this is the calc module actually. So in calc module, we are having so this is a logic I written in this calc module. So this is actually calc module. So in this calc module, what I written? Just I am going to perform all the operations. Okay. So all the operations I am going to perform in the calc module. So first operation is addition. Okay, subtraction, multiplication, division. So I written the logics for all these operations here. So add AB. So add AB means whatever you are given numbers, so that will comes as arguments here. And that number by default we are using a label. So in label by default it will be in string format. So that is the reason why we are converting that into float format. So that is the reason why every time when you are okay, every time when you are using, so automatically we are getting that so for example, if I given some number here, 9, so 9 if I given, it is in the form of string because it is a label. 9 will be stored in label, so label is by default going to take the information in a string format. So that is the reason why what I'm doing is I'm trying to convert that into float format, right? So if you click on 9, that is the reason why we are getting 9.0. Why we are not getting 9? The reason is I am trying to convert that into float format. So that is the logic what I written here. So that is our logic what I written here. Even if you are performing addition operation, or if you are performing subtraction operation, if you are performing multiplication operation, everything, the result will be stored in the form of a float only, right? So that is the reason why we are converting all the input into float format. By default, input will be there in string format, and I am trying to convert that input into float format, right? So float of these two arguments, AB. AB is nothing but first number and second number. The arguments, whatever you are using. So we are going to call that. Next one is we are going to take the sign. Sign is nothing but by default. By default, we are initializing this with the 0 number. If you see here, uh, okay, set max sign. So max, we are without doing anything, without giving any number. If you are going to perform some equals to operation, if you are trying to perform something, you didn't given any number, but you are trying to know the result. So that is the reason why it is going to give some error. The error is nothing but set max sign, right? So here, so that is the reason why by default it will start from 0 only. For example, 3 into 9. So if I click on equals to 27 is there, and what about the above part? So this is two labels are there. One label is displaying result, and one more label. In the top label, by default, I am storing 0. So that is the reason why the max sign is going to be always set it as 0. Okay, so by default it will be stored as 0 because if I want to perform something like okay, so minus or anything, then it is going to be by default it will be converted into float format, and accordingly the operations can be done. So that is the reason why this one more function is written. So setting max sign. Okay, so max sign is nothing but so you need to give some symbol, whether it is plus or minus or into or some slash. So 0 means minus, okay, plus 1 means okay, minus, and into this. Not giving any these symbols. If you are trying to know the result, then you are going to get an error, invalid max symbol, right? Next one is converting that into float format. As I mentioned, if you are given some input, the input is always in string format. So that is the reason why I am trying to convert that string into float format. For example, even though, okay, string of int of a. So I am converting this a into float format. Finally, I am converting this into float format. Okay, and here also every input will be converted into float format. If it is a number, if it is a string, it means if it is a symbol like plus minus, then we don't need to convert that into float format. Only numbers, numerical values, we are converting into integer. Right, so these are the functions I written in calcs.py, and sign also. If you are 0 means plus, and 1 means minus, and 2 means into, and 3 means slash. So this is the order. To maintain some order, I am giving a, okay, 0 means plus symbol, okay, 1 means the order. How, if you see here, this is the order. So plus, minus, into, slash. So this is the order. So in first row I am using plus, in second row I am using minus, into, slash. So that is only for maintaining the order of the symbols. The next thing is, so just what I am doing here is I written this program, and this program simply it's going to be called in other program. Okay, it is a module actually. This calci.py is a module. So in this calci.py, we are going to use this calci.py module in another module, that is main.py. So in main.py we are using this. Okay, so this is one program, and this program we are using in main.py. This is actually main program for this calculator. So just here I am importing CALC. CALC is actually a module where I written the entire code there. Okay, I am trying to use that functions. For example, if you see here, CALC dot set math sign 0. So where is this set math sign? Set math sign is written here. If you see here, so here I written this set math sign. The function is written here. This function is written here. So this is actually written in CALC module. So that is the reason why I am going to call this CALC module here. I am importing that CALC module here. Okay, and similarly remaining functions also I written in one module, that is CALC module, and I am trying to use it here in this program. I am trying to use it, right? So of course here there is no database concept. We are not using database. Okay, but only the functionality you need to write. Okay, what is the functionality you need to write? So what this C function is doing, what this one is doing, what 2 is doing, what 3 is doing, because these all are buttons. So when you click on one, what it should do, what it is going to perform any type of action. So if you click on one, what type of action you need to perform? If we click on plus, it is going to perform addition. If we click on minus, it is going to perform subtraction. If we click on into, it is going to perform multiplication and so on. But if we click on one, what it should perform? Anyone? If we click on one, what it should perform? What is the action is going to happen on numbers? Because I mentioned numbers are also buttons only. Okay, for every number we need to have one button. For 1 there is a button, for 2 there is a button, for 3 there is a button, and for 9 there is a button, for 0 there is a button. So what type of action can be done on numbers? Anyone? What type of actions can be done on numbers? Numbers means button. Those are also buttons only. So on symbols, it's very simple. If I say plus means the action is addition. Minus means the action is subtraction. Into means multiplication, and slash means division. But what about the action on numericals, numbers? Anyone? Anyone? Please try to answer my question. Do you understand my question? No, please respond. I am waiting for your answer. Yes or no? Any answers? Okay, whether the answer is right or wrong, no problem. I think my question is clear, right? First of all, we are using buttons for various numbers. For 0 number, we are using one button. For 1 number, there is a button. For 2 number, there is a button. In the previous examples, we are used buttons only for like login button, submit button, register button. But here, even for numbers also I'm using button. So what type of actions we are supposed to do if I use the button for numbers? Please respond with your answers. Let me show you in real-time calculator what it is doing. Now at least you get an idea what in our application also what we are supposed to do. Okay, so now all of you please observe here and try to answer my question. So if you see here, all are buttons only. This even numbers also buttons only. If I click on this button 9, what it is going to do? What it is doing? Now you can answer my question. What it is doing? When I click on any button, what it is doing? I clicked on a button 9, right? What it is doing? Yeah, shows 9. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so that is the action you need to do. Because button means definitely there should be some action, right? So maybe adding something or subtracting something, multiplying something, or dividing something. That is for other buttons. For symbols, plus is a button. So if you click on plus, what it should do? It's going to add the two numbers. Minus is a button. If we click on minus, what it will do? It's going to subtract two numbers. And into is a button. When you click on into button, what it will do? It's going to perform multiplication. And similarly, when you click on slash button, it's going to perform division. And similarly, C is a button. When you click on C, it's going to clear your result. It's going to clear your result. And similarly, 1 is a button. When you click on 1, what it should do? It's going to display that number on the screen. 2 is a button. So then what it will do? If we click on 2, 2 will be displayed on the screen. Right? So that is what we are supposed to do. For each and every button, there is an action, there is an event. That action or that event, what it should do means, it's going to display that particular number on the screen. Okay, so that is the event for all the numbers of buttons what we have in our example. Okay, so now you got an idea what button event for numbers and what button event for symbols. For symbols, simply it is doing different types of operation depending on the type of the symbol. And for buttons, it's going to display that number depending on the what number we are clicking on. If you are clicking on some number 0, it will display 0. If you are clicking on some number 1, it will display 1. And similarly, for other numbers also, it is going to do the same, right? So now I think it is clear, right? What is the functionality of each and every button and how to design it? Designing already we seen how it can be designed, but the functionality, you need to know how that functionality can be implemented. So the functionality is here. If I am talking about for example 9 into 6. So what it is going to do? It is going to, you see here also we have two things, right? So this is the result, and this one is the expression. The expression or the input what we are given. Input what we are given means is it a number, or is it a string, or is it any type of input whatever we are taking, that input is going to be considered here, right? So here also we are using two types of labels. This one is one label. This upper one, this upper area is for one label, and this result is for one more label. So in upper area we are adding simply we are adding each and every input whatever the user has entered. So simply what we are adding initially, I given 9. So 9 is added. 9 is added initially. Next I given into. So into is added. Next I given 6. So 6 is added. Next I used equals to. So equals to is added. So and result, the expression result we got in a one more label. So here we are using two labels. One label is for storing the inputs what we are giving, and one more label is for giving the result of the expression. Right? Is it clear? So these all are the different aspects in this application you should know. Right? First aspect is designing, and second aspect is uh, the functionality. And for that functionality also, what is the functionality for each and every button? Okay, the functionality is different for symbols, and the functionality is different for numbers. So once you got the clarification on each and every button and as well as its functionality, now you are going to take two labels. One label is going to store your input. Whatever you are given, that input will be appended. Simply it will append. It is going to append each and every input whatever you are entering. And one more label is going to give you the result. Result of the expression what you entered. That is the reason why here also so here also we are okay. So this is the output actually. Here also we are getting the same expression. So the expression, if you see here, 6 I am giving, and into 9. So now here we are seeing two rows. The result is appeared in two rows. One row is for storing the expression, and another row is for giving the result. That is up to you. How we are going to use these labels, that is up to you. In some of the applications, you may not store the entire expression, but without storing the expression directly you can give the result. That is one way. And in other application, you may store the expression, and along with that expression, you can give the result. So that is other type. So depending on the type of the application you are working with, so the inputs are also going to be different. As I mentioned, some of you may design the same calculator in other way also. It is need you need not follow the same type of design, same type of approach. So that is depending on your logical thinking. So this can be designed in different ways, right? So as I mentioned, you may not use this label also. You can use directly text box also. Maybe you can design a calculator like this. So here I am not using any label actually. So for storing this result, so this result, this the big one is nothing but it is a text box. Okay, so you can use text box also instead of label. You can use text box also. So the design is you can do in your own way. That is up to you. Any doubts? Any doubts? And one more important thing, once you design this type of calculator, the same type of calculator I may use in another application. Another application maybe tomorrow we'll see one more project, that is a hotel management system or restaurant management system. In restaurant management system, what we need, the accountant is going to calculate the bill, right? The accountant is going to calculate the bill in a restaurant. So he is going to use a calculator. For example, you ordered some 10 meals, okay, 10 meals, and you ordered some other tiffins. You ordered some 10 meals and 5 tiffins. So 10 meals. So he's going to use some calculator. 10 into 1 meal, for example, 70. 10 into 70, and for some 5 tiffins, so 5 into 30. So he's going to use the calculator to calculate the entire cost, right? So how we are going to design a calculator? We don't need to design a calculator again. In that application, in that restaurant application, we can use this calculator. Already this calculator we are designed. We got calculator. So simply I can import this calculator in that application, so that I can use this calculator in that application, right? So wherever you require calculator, you can design, you can import this, so that you can use this features of this calculator in other applications also. Okay, so I'll share this program. Just you go through it once, and you need to run this program. If and you can design in your own way. As I mentioned, you may follow some other style. You may follow some other approach to design your own calculator. So in that calculator, maybe you can define some more functionality also. Maybe you can use one more button. The button is going to find the square root of the given number. So in this, actually I didn't use any square root, right? So you may design one more button. For example, I want to design one button. So what this button is going to do, so it is going to perform square root operation. Okay, so this button is going to perform the square root operation, right? So, and one more button, it is going to perform modulo operation. So you can add the functionality like this. It is going to perform the modulus operation. And one more button you may design. So it is going to have some other functionality, right? So it is going to perform some trigonometry operation. It may perform some sine operation, and some button is going to perform some cos operation, right? So this functionality also you can design in your own way. So that is up to you. Design is actually, it is depending on your logical thinking, depending on the features what you are going to provide. So you can think in your own way. Okay, so if you have any doubts, you can ask me. Otherwise, I'll stop here.